Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to change the air filter, spark plugs and coil sticks in a Kawasaki ER-6f 2009 model. It will be a similar process for an ER-6n or a Ninja 650 of a similar age. First off, you need to remove the seat, and then you need to remove the bolts that retain the fuel tank. Okay, once you've got the bolts out for the fuel tank bracket, just remove that metal plate. Next you need to remove the two trim panels, one on each side. Just push the little lug in with a screwdriver and then you can pull the pin out. Don't try and prise it out, just push the center pin in and it just lifts out. And there's two lugs, as you'll see, just pulls away. And same on the other side. Excuse my filming, I was doing it one-handed with my iPhone. Okay, next you need to remove this cover here on the left side. I think that was a 30mm hex key. And it just pops off. Okay, you can't see it very well from the video, but under there is a crankshaft vent which goes into the bottom of the airbox, and there's a springy clip that holds the rubber pipe on. You'll see it better in a minute. But if you put your hand in there, you should find a little springy clip. Just close it up together and you should be able to release the pipe from the top of the crankshaft vent. Okay, once you've done that, you can lift up the end of the fuel tank, hold it in place. I used a rubber mallet, you can use a piece of wood. You'll find the fuel pipe. It's got a little red clip on it. Just prise the red clip out and then you can gently pull the hose away from the fuel tank. There's also two electrical connections which you need to remove, which connect to the fuel pump. Not sure what the other one does. There's the red clip, don't lose that. Okay, next you need to remove the electrical connections from the airbox. Again, not easy one-handed. One, and there's another one at the back there. Pop that one off. And there's a hose there, you can actually pull that off from the front. I did it a bit later, but you can pull that off now out of the way if you want. And then you need to remove this cover here with 4 Phillips screws. And then, as you can see in there, is the throttles. Put some old rag or some tissue in the top of the throttle housings, throttle bodies, so that you don't drop any bolts or screws inside the engine. And you'll see there's 4 screws inside the airbox which hold it in place. You need to remove those 4. I think that was a 30mm hex bolt. Once you've released those 4, you can stroke the cat. And then I've already done the air filter last week, but I'm just showing you how to access it. There's one Phillips screw there, remove that, and then the air filter slides out of the back of the airbox. I changed that last week. As you can see, it's brand new, but the one previous was pretty mucky. Okay, just lift up the airbox carefully, make sure you don't trap any pipes or cables. It lifts sort of backwards and forwards, jiggle it about until it lifts out. There'll be a couple of rubber hoses connected to the bottom, or one rubber hose rather. That should be capped off anyway. I think that's some kind of vent or collection pipe. Okay, here you can see the tops of the ignition coils. Need to remove the electrical connections from the end. Don't lose the little rubber washers that sit inside. As you can see, one dropped out. I did put it back later, but that keeps them watertight. So make sure when you disconnect the electrical connections from the top of the coil that those red little rubber washers are kept safe. And as you can see, that came out really easily because I took it out last week and I inspected them and found that one was cracked. This one's okay actually. This one would probably be alright to reuse, but as I'm replacing one, I may as well replace both at the same time. When I got them out last week, they were a lot stiffer than this. I actually had to use a screwdriver underneath to prise them out. Okay, and as you can see, this one's got a crack around the casing due to rust getting inside. So as water gets inside, it causes rust, and then that expands and makes a plastic casing crack. And then they can actually get seized inside the engine. So that's why you do need to inspect them every couple of years, I would say. Here's the brand new ones. Exactly the same, different manufacturer. Now before I reinserted these new ones, I've smeared the tops of them with a dielectric silicone grease. This is resistant to high temperature and it will make it a damn sight easier to get them back out again next time you want to change the spark plugs. I'm not changing the spark plugs in this video because I did it last week, but basically just use your spark plug sockets from your toolkit and remove them prior to putting the coils back in, obviously. And just slots back in the hole, give it a bit of a twist so that the grease works around. Make sure it clicks down really hard, push it down as hard as you can so it snaps onto the top of the spark plugs. And then just reconnect your wires back to the tops. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's quite new, but I will be posting some more videos in the near future.